Okay. That was a little jam. That was a little bop for real. I can't really bop, but I'll be trying. I just felt like, let me go ahead and get this started. You know, I got, you know, the sniper finna come in a minute and go ahead and maybe that's not a good choice of words, but whatever. But go ahead and set it straight. I feel like I had a few things to get off my chest before we get into what we about to get into, right? Shout out to everyone who joining us. Shout out Barrick. Yeah. I see you. What up, Damar? Joel in the building. Pseudo Kill Official kicked out low in the building. I see you, the Brothers UK, Taj. S Rush in the building. Thank y'all for egging me on. That's cute. I like that. But thank y'all for joining us. Hopefully a few more come in. Please like and share the show. For sure, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. And yeah, show us some support. What up, Thurman? Bye. Yeah, I wasn't rushing you, fam. I was going, you know what I'm saying? Hold the fort down, get some people in here before you do the bill. But I think there's a few things that I wanted to say. You know, this ABO cult. Yeah, I'm gonna call it that. The ABO cult. The super grifters for the last 5 years, right? Every time I see Top Cats here on a cruise, like I think it's horrible because I'm sure some of them people are mad struggling, but you're paying for this guy just to be on the cruise every 3 months, like, and then he's feeding you pure bull, techno babble, BS. You know, them ain't your peoples, you ain't them. That's not your genealogy. You feel me? Y'all scared of DNA. And it's just like, come on, you know, if you hate yourself, just hate yourself in private. don't be spreading the hate because it's misinformation and it's nonsense. If you notice the cover of the book, that was a book by Joseph Williams. Let me put up in this the shoot, I'm not gonna mess up. Let me give you the name. It's the Wench, the Black Irish of Jamaica is what it's called. Joseph Williams is actually a PhD. The reason why I chose that because this is one of the sources that they try to use and they have not read it. Hands down, they haven't read it at all. Doesn't support the ideology whatsoever. That book actually gives the history of the colony of Barbados, which there were a lot of English and Irish, you know, people there because that was, you know, one of the first colonies, one of the richest colonies. Okay. And you had a lot of white, European settlers, so to speak. Not necessarily all of them owned slaves. but they were there because it's a colony, right? Um, this will also spill into how Charleston, South Carolina, developed. The same proprietors that developed the Barbados colony developed the Charleston colony. You know, that there's a history. Like we can walk it down. Um, and that also stretches into, you know, them colonizing Jamaica. So we're going to talk about this Black Irish myth and how they mess it up. I just wanted to drop some background work or some more context so you'll understand and see how they're manipulating the information. So let's talk about the Black Irish. It's a misnomer, has nothing to do with those people being Black. What it does deal with is dark features of some Europeans because the Nordic look, so to speak, blonde hair and the blue eyes is their signature look. That's not their only phenotype. Okay? Put in perspective. Dark hair is a dominant gene. You're going to have dark hair in abundance with the majority of the human population around the world, including Irish people. You know, they have specific genetic markers and genes to give them, you know, sometimes that red hair and the green eyes and the blue eyes and the blonde hair, but you're gonna have some that have dark brown eyes and dark brown hair. That's just the facts of it, okay? So when they say Black Irish, it has nothing to do with those people being Black. Um, what's the next point I want to bring up? The black pseudokillers has dealt with this Black term because of the Egyptian conversation, and though people were bothered and tired about it, the reason why that was done is because the whole conversation itself is anti-scientific. It we wouldn't be, you know, doing our due diligence if we did not deal with that conversation, and that's just what it is. Um, what was my other point that I was gonna make? Oh, yeah, this one. So if you're claiming to be a people, there are ways in which you have to be able to prove that you're those people. You're those indigenous peoples. So I'm gonna tell you some ways, you know. Um, some of them you're gonna know about, some of you're not, but I'll explain them, okay? So, of course, we have anthropology. And what a lot of anthropologists do is this thing called um eth- ethnography. Ethnography, what is that? It's literally speaking to the people of the culture, right? Getting their 2, 3, 4, 5 cents about their culture. That can be considered a primary, literally. You know, you speak to the people of that culture and they'll give you their take on it, you know. And usually if you're speaking to enough of that population, the story's gonna start sounding the same, right? They're literally gonna give you the same guys for their creation story, their gods, their foods, the crops that they've cultivated, um, music, and anything else related to that culture, crafts, art. They're going to be able to literally probably give you that and it be, you know, without the only significant difference because they're different individuals, but as the people of that culture, it's probably going to be sounding very redundant and repetitive. So you have a validation, which is important in science. You just can't say, oh, this is something, and I'm the source and I said it. That does not work because most times you're probably wrong, dead ass wrong. Excuse my language. I see some people in the audience, and You feel me? I feel like if you got some time and you want to add, please feel free. I think you know who I'm talking to. Come on, my Domino's partner. You know what I'm talking about. You know, if you ain't got baby Bubba with you. But those are though that's one of the things, anthropology and ethnography. The other thing, archaeology, right? Doing excavations, finding tools and instruments that some of those ancestors use. Some of the people still alive today may be still using a more modern version of that tool, or it can tell you how, some of those tools are made, how they, how shall I say, evolved to the ones they have today, different things like that. But archaeology is also a big help in finding other points of material culture for that particular people group or culture. Those who say they're indigenous, and I'm just not talking about indigenous to America. I'm talking about if they're saying they're indigenous anywhere. You know, what's another one? Carbon dating. Carbon dating is a science. Now, nothing is going to be absolute in science. So get that out your head. There's no 100%. They're going to be like 99.1. You feel me? Like, that's how you can tell when something's science and when something else. Literally. Science is not going to speak in absolutes. It's going to be speaking probability, you know. It's a 99% probability, 98% probability, 97% probability that this is that. That's how it's going to speak. So when you hear people speaking in absolutes, red flag, foul on the play. Yeah, 10-yard penalty. It's not going to work. Yeah, I'm looking at notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. What's another one? Ooh, linguistics. Linguistics. What's the one thing that the ABOS say? What is it? Latin started here. We've always spoken English. What kind of techno babble is that? Really? Like we have a such thing called the linguistic tree. It gives you basically the map and dates when certain languages came about, the root of those languages, the proto languages, it go on. It goes on. And they don't know none of it. Especially the ones that say they Seminole. They don't even know about the Seminole Creole that was created by the Maroon Africans and the Seminoles taking refuge in Florida, helping each other fight off people like Andrew Jackson. It's a mess, right? You don't know that language. You don't know what you're talking about. Like literally. You just can't make it up as you go. You can't look at a book cover and read it and use it for clickbait to say they're talking about you because it got Black Irish on the cover, when clearly it's not even speaking about anyone that looks like you. Clearly. It's a travesty. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but I also got another source that I'm on because I know the owls are using this source and they don't think we know nothing about it. We know. I'm gonna give you the name. Her name is Radine A America. Y'all go Google that. Go Google that. Radine A middle initial America. Hopefully you know how to spell that. If you don't, get out my chat and go read a book. Do your alphabet. Radine A America. She got a book out. I want y'all to go check that book. Go check that book out. Mad wild. Mad wild. Yeah, we gonna tear that book up. So, and I think I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a show. That show is gonna be about basically telling you all the sources you can't ever use no more, because we're gonna be on your head about it. We read. Reading is fundamental. Reading rainbow. Okay, let me finish. What up, Bubba? Let me finish. Language preservation. Yeah, they don't think about this one. So this is documented and preserving ancestral languages. The present day languages that the people today speak. You feel me? Preserving if they have any type of petroglyphs or hieroglyphs. And hieroglyphs are you know, just not found in Egypt. You can find hieroglyphs worldwide. Hieroglyphs is a type of script, so to speak. Guess that'll be the easiest way to put it. Okay? Um what's another one? Linguistics, language analysis. Oh, genetics. Genetic studies. We know they're not doing that. They're not trying to take a DNA test. They don't understand genetic markers. They don't understand haplogroups. And it's weird because they'll try to use the genetics and then at the same time say the DNA is fake. It's like, how you gonna do that? You can't try to use the genetics and then turn around and say DNA is fake. How you do that? It ain't gonna work. It doesn't work. Yeah, boy, get that DNA. You know what I'm saying? Dana, that's what we call it. Dana don't lie. Historic records. Ooh, damn, never got none. What is historical records? Historical documents, maps, and just any other different record created by that indigenous group. Those would be considered historical records, right? Also legal and political records. They call it legal and political framework, but these would be like treaties and agreements, but government records also included in that. You feel me? What they say, colonial records. Like, what are the records that the colonizer of that group has? That's a real thing. We know the slave trade, the Spanish, the Dutch, the French, the Portuguese, and all those different languages have records in those different languages saying literally the same thing. Literally. You can't get past that. These people were fighting for territory in the New World. So I'll be trying to figure out how they're fighting for territory in the New World at the same time they're corroborating a whole, what they call it fake. So how are they doing that? Like, y'all have to explain that more. I don't get it. I'm almost finished here. I said legal and political framework, treaties and agreements, government records, right? Environmental and ecological studies, right? So this would be land use patterns. So this is basically like traditional land management, right? How did they grow crops? How did they raise their cattle? Like, how do they cultivate certain crops? What crops do they cultivate? You feel me? The fauna, of that particular area, which that native indigenous group was in. See, they would know this and they would tell you this. They'll tell you like the flower, their favorite flower, or things like that. When they're talking about, their traditional medicines, they're gonna tell you this stuff. I've never heard an abo get that deep about none of it. So that's 7 tools that you would need to like have some type of, I don't know, like you gotta know, you're gonna need to know all of that to say that you're that group, you're them. Another thing I've heard lately, heard bottom kitten, top cats, baby cats say this, say he's a tutor. So you're a tutor. Who he said he related to? Cornwell. I'm not messing up the guy. You're a tutor, you're a Black Irish, you're an Indigenous American. Like, you can't be all these things at once. It's not gonna work. But that's my babble. Before you go in, I'm gonna let before you go in, Shalom. But I'm gonna let Bubba Vasa go ahead and say his piece. I don't read any of that. Vasa, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good, sis. Peace,
Go
everybody. What's up, Juju?
chilling.
Jill? How y'all
Yeah.
doing?
Hey,
Trying to
what's going on? What's up?
Not too everything that's not down, brother. Everything that's not down. Peace to the chat.
back.
I came in late and I
Yeah.
was catching glimpses of it.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna fall back to mute. Plus, my 2-year-old is bouncing all over the place right now.
I don't worry
But
about it.
I'm
Say your
here.
piece. Just speak loud enough. Hey niece, hey nephew.
Can you hear me? It's the boy. It's the
I can hear
water.
you.
Okay. Yeah. I'll fall back to mute, but I'm here if you need me.
Okay.
I'm
I wanted
listening,
you to
and I'll be
what's
here. I got to kind of get a feel for the conversation and where y'all
oh
taking
yeah.
it first.
I was just kind of like
Yeah.
just getting it off my chest, all the contradicting things that these so-called Aboriginal Americans, Aboriginal Hebrews, Moors, whatever they want to be, whenever they want to be it, be saying all the different stuff that don't make no type of sense. You feel me? And just the fact that's why I use it as a thumbnail. But that book, once the Black Irish of Jamaicans, they just recently tried to use that book. I just saw it on TikTok. This is weird little sassy abo little dude, and I'm just like, bro, you ain't even. I mean, just the glimpse at the book will tell you that it's not talking about nothing you're talking about. But the Radine A America, just Google her. Like that's definitely a source, and I've never seen that before. So I definitely want to deal with it, and I want to deal with it quick. We gonna deal with it. You feel me? So I've shared it with a couple people because I feel like the best way to really nail it in the coffin is to give it to everybody. You feel me? So I'll send it to Sean P. I'll send it to Not a Coincidence. I'm gonna share it with everybody, and everybody can attack it how they want because that book is wild. You feel me? It uses one of the famous pictures that they love to use that don't got nothing to do with nothing. So it's funny. Um,
But
let me see.
Juju, you know them bros be everything except correct.
Everything except correct. I like that. I'm gonna see if I can find the book with Ray Dean. But yeah, so I was just trying to get some things off my chest, like letting them know their days are numbered, letting them know that yeah, we really got it locked from all angles. And Shalimwe here is going to get into the deeper context and on why you're not nothing of the Europeans you say you are. Those Europeans you claim are black aren't black or of African descent. And let's put that word in perspective because we love to use that word for everybody and everything that has dark skin. And that's fallacious. Please stop it. If you're calling somebody black that is not of African descent and before the 1600s, you are out of line. It's anachronistically used. Stop it. It does not work. Everybody around the world is not black. You know, there's a reason why that term came into being. It's literally regulated for the people that culture was stolen when they stole them or purchased them from the continent of Africa. And that's the facts. And then they brought us here and made laws where we couldn't practice our culture. We couldn't speak our language. We couldn't wear our hair out, particularly in Louisiana. Laws, we couldn't use their talking drum. Yeah. So, every step of the way, they try to erase it. People say our culture is gone. Nah, it's still there. They tried to erase it. Some people have retained that. And if you don't know your culture, then you need to try to seek people who do so they can point you in the right direction. But your culture has been documented. The government has documented it. You just need to find the right literature. Yeah. Take some time and do that and stop complaining. You ain't got no culture. We don't have no culture of our own. Nah, that's a lie. A bold faced lie. Yeah. And I'm ready for the smoke. If you feel like that, we can have a conversation on it. Please stop telling people that. You know who I'm talking about. It's a couple people I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Yeah. But Marcus, I guess my rant's over. You're here now. We got the little bop in. Shout out to Gideon for the hot beat. Thank you. Yeah, we'll bop some more later. And go ahead. We ready.
Peace, everybody. Peace, everybody. We back at it again. We'll be focused on these ABOS for quite a while. I don't want to get too far away from what I enjoy doing for the most part, which is ethology, study of animals' behavior in their natural environments. And of course, we did the brain show, and we're doing the garden show. Though I have became lax with the garden show, so we got to get back to that. But we are pseudo killers, so we got to make sure that we stay on point and stop letting these pseudos run wild. There's a rich and deep history that they're kind of misrepresenting, and it causes problems later down the line when you really think about African American history and our interactions and just the development of America as we see it today. They like to play the 50 with the English wars that took place. It's called the Three Kingdoms War. It's a series of wars that took place, one of them being the English Civil War. They like to play the 50 with that. They like to mix and mingle around that. So the Tudors, Tudor, those individuals is a royal line that took place. It was a short line, but it was significant in the expansion of England's power. After their line ended, you had King James, the author of the 1611, not the author, but the king who commissioned the authorship of the King James Bible. And then you had his son, I believe, Charles I. The reason why that's important is because some of the founding principles that we look at in America are based upon warring factions within the country of England. So you look at the civil wars in England during the 1600s. Some of the heroes from those wars were granted land in America, in Jamaica, and in Barbados as reward. Most of them were considered royalists. One person is like William Penn, who Pennsylvania is named after. He was an admiral during this time, and he did such a wonderful job that the King of England, Charles II, gave him a commission to set up the state of Pennsylvania, Delaware being considered at that time lower Pennsylvania, the lower counties of Pennsylvania. When the Constitution was signed, Delaware became its own state. So Delaware, for the great sense, was considered the low country for Pennsylvania, and William Penn being one of them. Prince, the road Governor Prince in Delaware that takes you, leads you into Route 13, was another individual who was successful during the war who came there. The factions there's multiple factions, but the two main ones are the Cavaliers and the Roundheads. The Cavaliers were royalists. They were the individuals who in essence, believed in divine kingship and thought that the king had absolute power. Right? Then we go into the next group, which were the Roundheads. The Roundheads were mainly pushing parliament and constitutional states. In that battle between Parliament and the kingship, there were wars that were engaged, including Scottish and Ireland. So when we get to this book that we're talking about, Whence the Black Jamaicans, they're talking about that period in time after Charles I was killed and the Parliament took control under the guise of Oliver Cromwell. I've given you an idea on how important that is just by you understanding that the Roundheads were also called Puritans, and they ended up becoming the ones who took up the northern part of America around Boston, New England. And the Royalists were from Maryland down, excluding William Penn, who I was talking about, but most of them went to the southern parts. During that war, when the Parliament took control, a lot of Royalists left. A lot of Royalists fled to Barbados, then to Jamaica. Some went to Jamaica, some went to the Carolinas. This is fundamental to understanding the Black experience because, as you know, they viewed those two factions viewed the world differently. The Puritans manifest destiny, and they wanted a higher educated workforce because their means of income wasn't solely based on agriculture, but was based on industry, industrial development. Very key. The Royalists, on the other hand, who are associated closely to kingship, were about land ownership and feudal systems. And you can find that dynamic in the arguments between the North and the South, and then their values and how they view. Of course, there's other people involved into it too. You got the Midlands, you got the Appalachian Mountain people, and all these people have slightly different ideologies because of the origins. But what these pseudo historians are doing is they're twisting this history, right? And they're making it seem as if these royalists these people who are loyal to the royal kingship are royally themselves, one, and that they come in and they mix with Native Americans. And so now you got two royal bloodlines. Utter foolishness. It's utter foolishness. And we got one. A pseudo dies at the source. So I want to let me shout out some people in the chat, and then we'll get into this little quick presentation. Y'all know I'm not going to be too long before you. I'm going to knock this out right quick. Catch Top Cat out there scamming again. Show you how he does it, and then we're going to show you how a pseudo dies at his source. I think I believe that people aren't going to actually go and hunt down where they're getting these quotes from and where them sources are from and how they are misrepresenting sources like they always do. So let me shout out a few people in the chat. Kick Door Low, Kent, Pseudo Killer Official, Peace, Zane, what's up? Always glad to see you. Tahuti Mahat, Peace, bro.
That's Jehudi.
Yeah, Isonic, what's up? Taj, man, Taj, I understand you, bro. Glad to see you. Sosa, always, man. Can't wait for the next social world. Gary, great input in the Discord, bro. I'm loving it. You definitely got some new insights. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We enjoy hearing you there, bro. And as a matter of fact, if y'all want to, y'all can join the Discord. Miss Tiff, always working hard and diligently, loving the music. Rock City, peace, welcome. You always come through. Timmy Turner, what's up? We get ready to do some pseudo killing, like we get down and get dirty with it. Thurman, peace, peace, peace. So I just wanted to shout some people out that's in the chat. Joel, you always, you know what it is. And I'm still waiting to touch on that Cavalier and the Roundhead and some of those political movements that came out of it. Raymond, peace, peace. Raymond, peace. So what are we talking about here?
I just wanted to say I've showed pictures of the Tudors. That ain't y'all. I need the ABOS to stop it. Top Cats, you are not related to these people. You got to cut it out.
Not at all.
Straight cut it out. And y'all, bro, I've showed y'all pictures of people look nothing like you. Nigga, you is a West African, North Atlantic African Creole, whatever you want to call it. That's what you are. Stop hating. Stop hating yourself. Go ahead.
It's a lack of self-esteem that makes you want to be something that you're not. And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Chill, I got a quote for that. I didn't mean to cut you, but what you
No, go
said
ahead.
about the self-esteem before the show ends. Do your bill, but I'll bring it back up.
You can do it now. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I'd have to go grab the book.
Oh, okay, no problem. We'll get it.
Yeah. So do your presentation, and I'll bring it up. A lot of people already heard me say it before. I don't know if you have though.
Absolutely. So y'all know what I like to do. I like to make sure we keep it gully. These are some of the black, I won't say elite, but some of the black intellectuals that have come through history. I wanted to put Miss Sheila Jackson, who passed away this weekend, earlier this week from pancreatic cancer, who presented the bill to investigate racism in America and the case for reparations. Miss Sheila Jackson passed away from pancreatic cancer. I think it's important that we acknowledge, while I may not agree with all of her politics, I feel her heart in trying to improve the conditions of Black America. So I want to shout her out. And the next one, I definitely want to add her into the aisles and annals of Black intellectual thought who has vehemently progressed Black America. So let's move forward. What we got here? Let's talk about Nikki Giovanni, beautiful poetess, love her work. If Black History Month is not viable, then wind does not carry the seeds and drop them on fertile ground. Rain does not dampen the land and encourage the seeds to root. The sun does not warm the earth and kiss the seedlings and tell them plain, you are as good as anybody else. You got a place here too. And so this is what we want to also incorporate. We want to show you not only their error, but we want to also tell you the accurate history. And that you are fully capable human beings, no matter what the white supremacists had attempted to promote into us and into our children. We want to make sure that we explain to them the legacy of Black America, as well as the Africans of the diaspora and Africans on the continent of Africa who have contributed to humanity's growth and progress to this point. So Little Kitten, also known as Top Cat, I'm accusing him of the crime of misrepresenting his source and gish-galloping to hide the fact that he is a pseudo-historian. And I have a QR code that you can look up and talk about what gish-galloping is. But here it is. During a gish-gallop in short space of time, the galloper confronts an opponent with rapid series of specious arguments, half-truth, misrepresentation, and outright lies that make it impossible for an opponent to refute all of them. So basically what they do is they just run, they say a lot of stuff, take a lot of words and pseudo-history, and they take some facts and they blend it all together and they present it in such a rush that you can't slow them down and make them show the actual source. And we have Top Cat doing it. I cannot play the whole video due to the lewdness of the words he was saying. We trying to keep this channel safe for the children. So this clip that I got is a partial clip. And some of the words in there, I couldn't find a way to get past it. So this is a clip of him saying. So what's the claim?
Well, nigga, and they African Americans just like your ass. You got their last name, nigga. You don't know who the hell you. Well, nigga.
So what he's talking about is the Irish. I'm sorry about the short clip. I couldn't put more in there. It was the language just was, it just wouldn't work. But the claim is Black Irish are African Americans. You heard him say they're African Americans just like you are. You have their last name. Also, these Irish people are actually phenotypically similar to actually Africans. It's very important that you understand what they're saying. They are saying that, no, not African slavery, actually Irish slavery. And that's where you get this blending taking place, not with Africans, but with Black Irish. This is from the Brain Show. I'm sure y'all see me post this up quite a bit, but it talks about how to dissect and to understand information, right? And it tells you about the quality of information. What you want is high detail with high evidence, right? Some good popular science writing, that's writing that you may see in like regular newspapers or articles, not the actual journal entries, but more so like popular mechanics. That's good writing. You have evidence, but not a lot of details in case of supporting evidence. So you'll have a lot of evidence, but they won't give you some of the mathematical formulas that they use to draw it up. Some of the details and how they got to those conclusions. Junk, though, is low in evidence, right? And almost no evidence at all. Low in detail and almost no evidence at all. This is what Top Cat is. He's junk. He doesn't even give you a lot of details, and I'm going to show you how he got away with this foolishness that he did with this book. So he has low details, low evidence, but he uses the gish gallop by running his mouth, saying a bunch of nonsense. And this is how he's able to convince at least some people that what he's saying has some verification or some way to be the truth. Ideology, you'll find that more or less in more religious and spiritual talk, where their viewpoint becomes part of the detailed information. And then you have one with high detail and high evidence, good academic writing. That's what you get the journal. Then you look at the PDF of the journal entry, and you'll see 13 pages with detailed accounts on each one with graphs and mathematical formulas. That's what good academic writing looks like. Now, of course, everyone can't interpret what the writing is saying. And so we use other experts to help explain either the error or what is right about that. So what did Scam Kitten do? Shaking my head. So this is what he did. He showed the cover of the book, but actually never showed any sources from the said book. So he just showed this part right here. And then he gish galloped for 9 minutes without ever actually opening the book and saying, here's the evidence. Here's the details. That's why it's junk. That's why it's junk. Whence the Black Irish of Jamaica. Instead of going to the book, he went to a fraudulent website that talks about the book and then says the quote here in blue is in the book. Well, guess what? I read the book twice and that quote ain't in it. And then I entered it into ChatGPT 4 and typed in that quote to see if maybe I just didn't see it. And it didn't come up with anything in ChatGPT. So I used the AI search engine and read it twice myself for that quote. And I haven't came across it yet. That's problematic. Why is that problematic? Because let's look at what the book says. The very first paragraph in introduction, and I'm going to give you all the book so y'all can read it for yourself. We ain't even got to act like it's saying what he's saying. We absolutely know it's not. The very first paragraph of the introduction under the picture that I just showed says this: visitors to Jamaica in the British West Indies frequently remark a seeming anomaly. And even the remotest sections of the bush and among the darkest of the Negroes who clearly trace their ancestry back to the earliest slaves from Africa. God dang. He
Dead on arrival. Dead on arrival.
I haven't even got to the first sentence yet. It's just the paragraph, the first sentence in the paragraph. And already they saying what he's saying isn't true. It isn't true. They will find distinctively Irish names so common that in an unguarded moment, they're apt to give flight to the imagination and claim they have actually encountered a touch of the Burgoo. So I want to
that was too quick. That was too quick. Oh man.
So I went to I'm actually going to give more from the book because I think there's some points in the book that emphasize just how ridiculous his claim is. But I want us to notice the patterns that they're using to see exactly how they're just messing this whole thing up. Excuse me. How they just doing it, all right? So he showed the book, and by the book title, you would think that what's coming out of his mouth is verified by the book. Because what it say? Whence the Black Irish of Jamaica. And so the book is written, that title itself is written to draw your attention, right? So we know how that works. But when you actually read the source, you'll find out they're not actually saying what you think they're saying. They're not saying that the Irish were black phenotypically like southern parts of Africa, West and Central Africa, where we come from. They're not saying they're black like that. They're actually not saying they're black at all. They actually specifically say they're white. And we're going to get to that section in the book. But why aren't they called black? This is a problematic part that people don't like to talk about. When you talk about being black historically, you're always talking about in comparison to. So if every Miss Juju already talked about it already, if the phenotype that represents a group of people is red hair, blonde hair, and then a person is born, because we understand how genetics works, with dark hair, they may refer to them as Dub in Scottish, which means black, right? Because it's hair.
Black Scottish. No, stop. Sorry.
Right? And so that's how that works. So you may have a group of people who happen to be slightly darker because of the area in which they come from. And you may be, you refer to them as black, right? I've been looking at a prime example is Cape Verde. If you ever listen to watch videos about Cape Verde and hear them talk, right? They consider Blanca white, right? As a person who is literally copper tone in comparison to who they talking to. You see what I'm saying? So in comparison, on Cape Verde, right? The very light-skinned people of African ancestry, Portuguese admixture, are referred to as Blanca. To us, we wouldn't call them that. We would actually call those people black. We would say they're part of the black family, of races of people, or groupings of ethnic groups, right? But in their own cultural context, those people would be considered white, and the darker ones would be considered black. That's in Cape Verde. So we don't got to guess and fool around with the Jew-Japs. Another example where it is. Another example. Let me pull this up and show y'all. Sometimes it's done because of occupation. Right? Sometimes, and I'm going to show you where that's at. Song of Solomon. Let me make sure it's shared through. Good. Here's a prime example from the Song of Solomon. Now, I understand y'all know how we are. We are the pseudo killers, but I want you to understand the cultural context and how these things are expressed. So even though I don't take this thing to be literal, you can still express culture expressions through things like poetry, things like art, right? Through your artistic stands and writings and fictional stories. You know. So here's an example. I am black and comely, O daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look upon me, look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun has looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyards I have not kept. And so the reason why that's important in the conversation of what I'm talking about, right? The reason why that is important is because in their occupation, those who were out like shepherds and those who tended the fields would actually have a tan. And so that represented low birth. So you can see that those who were of the royal lines and higher up in echelons of money, they would be protected from direct sunlight for most of their experiences and lives. And so they wouldn't have that tan. So she's saying in that statement, and you can go to any scholar and read it, and they'll tell you the exact same thing. In that statement, don't look on me negative because I'm black, not black as in sub-Saharan African, but black in as in tan from your complexion. And then she goes on and tells you that she had to work the what? Vineyards, right? You work in the vineyards. Anybody who's been out in the fields know you get a tan, and so your skin is darker. So you have all these examples in which you got the Scottish dub, which was for black hair, which pseudos always use and try to say it's a Scottish royal line of black people. And then you have examples in which occupations, when you work outside, when you work outside, what happens? You get a tan, you're darker, and so you're put in there. What does V note the most in? What is he talking about?
V note is slow. I don't pay him no mind. He is a newbie, want to be abo, and yeah, I just told him he got to give it up. He don't want none. He don't want none of this. I already told him to stand down.
Yeah, if you don't like what
I'm trying to save you, V note.
Yeah,
you don't get chopped up. You food right now. Don't do it. Let it go. Just enjoy the show.
If you don't like what the source say, tell Top Cat stop using it. Because that's what he tried to use to say that Irish were black.
Source. Because let me explain something. See, the problem is I need to be mad at him because Top Cats know that a lot of you are too ignorant and stupid to actually read. They know that you're going to take things because he said so. He knows that he has a certain power over you. He knows that he can grift you out of your money and take cruises to Mexico and not have to prove a damn thing because you're that gullible. You're that stupid. I'm not saying that. That's what Top Cats really believes. So y'all need to go over there and take it up with him. We just showing you the keys to the game. I'm trying to give you the keys to the game. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself. Continue. Oh, I'll keep going though. I left the link in the chat for you, Vino. If you feel like you are brave enough to come up here, please do. But I already handled you a couple days ago, so I know you got nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like you should just stand down. Like really, you should be quiet. And remember when I told you I'd be trying to give you tools that I help you? Yeah, that's what you need to do. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Don't let V not up here, and I said V not. Because all it is the distraction, and it's just going to derail.
All right. I got you.
You get where I'm going? Y'all got to remember, they're going to say anything to get your attention, maintain your attention. So
Roger that.
Let the brother finish his presentation, and V not just chill. Just chill.
Just chill. Just settle down. Let me know when you're ready. Wanna do Chilembe. I'm talking to you. I know you might be. Oh, okay. There we go.
So I don't understand. I'm not gonna go. I'll deal with him shortly here too. We don't got to keep going through that. If he has such a problem with that source, right? I would advise him to stop telling his homies to stop using it. Because guess what? Some of them pictures you're using, yeah, they in this book too. And that book is saying, no, no, no. They not Irish people at all.
No, 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 no,
yeah,
no.
Yeah. So you don't like the source, huh? I got you. Don't worry about it.
He talking about Democratic vibes, bruh. Most of us over here is nonpartisan. See how you be messing up? You just be saying anything. Next thing you're gonna say, you're gonna call us Pan-African. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, Vasa. Sorry. Go ahead, Chalimba. Just stop. About to block you, dumbass. Yeah.
Excuse me. So in case y'all thought I was playing, since I only took a clip of it, let me show you this book right here. So we see the picture that old scam cat used right here. And we see the first paragraph right here. Right? So let's go to some other stuff that's in this book because it's very interesting. We're going to go to page 11. In the footnotes of page 11, yeah, you got to read that too. Well, the footnotes are further up, but nevertheless here. Look at what it says in page 11. 10 and 11. I'm reading right here. It was a measure beneficial to Ireland, which was thus relieved of a population that might trouble the planners. It was a benefit to the people removed who might thus be made English Christians, and a great benefit to West India's sugar planters who desired men, boys for their bondmen and women, and Irish girls in the country where they had only maroon women and niggerettes to the solace them. So, as I said, Charles is dead, Cromwell's in charge, and they have a problem in some of these British Isles controlled countries. And so up until this point, they were mostly taking their sexual relations by force with women from Africa. And then they would also encroach on the Maroons and enforcing themselves on those women, which is a horrible thing. But that's what was going on. And it became problematic. And so they requested that they send Irish boys to work the fields and be bondsmen to them, and Irish girls so they could marry and have children with. But where did they come from? That's a good question. Let's go right here. Bristol sugar merchants in the execution of which latter direction Ireland must have exhibit scenes in every part, like the slave hunts of Africa. And so they're gathering up the Irish people, similar to how they were grabbing up African slaves, right? And they were enslaving hunts, going into Africa and taking them. Now, at this point, they're really talking about when British first entered into the slave trade and market. They did not come in through the same means as the Portuguese and the Spanish had, and the Dutch at that time as well. They actually came in, Sir William, I forget his name, but he actually started with raids, and they would go in, land northern parts, come down south, and snatch a bunch of people up, and then trick them back into the ships, ship them back into the ships. First time he tried it, the Africans fought them off and poisoned their spears and bows, and so when they got back on the ship, they ended up dying. He came back better prepared the next time. Was it a lot of Africans there? Now, I want everybody to remember that this is not my source. This is actually Top Cat's source that's saying this, not my source. Here we go again. We're going to read this part right here. Excuse me. Griff Hutchins, the very name is suggested despite the fact that he was rector of St. Lucy's Anglican Church in Barbados, writing in 1750, telling us concerning the Negro slaves even in his day, we were obliged in order to keep up a necessary number to have a yearly supply from Africa. Again, where are they coming from? Africa. Who the Negroes? The ones coming from Africa, not the Irish. But wait, again, this is not my source. This is Top Cat's source that says this, which I'm surprised that he actually used that. Well, what's going on? What's the necessity to this? Let's go to page 33.
I know this hurts. I know this hurts. Yeah, oh boy.
So who's doing all this? Let's see. The Cromwellian settlement in Ireland has been described in bitter terms by Pendergrass among all hard things of those days. None of them served the whole deportation of children to the West Indies. Cromwellian, remember we just talked about it. It's important to know about these wars. Cromwell was the Puritan who believed in one, manifest destiny, but two, who wanted to eradicate most of the royal houses in England. He also implemented the execution of Charles I and became a very strong leader in Parliament. And he is the one who engaged into the deportation of Irish boys and girls into Barbados and Jamaica so that they can what? Work the plantations, and the women can do what? Marry the planters. Why? Because they're trying to build up a colony. One, two, they're trying to get rid of the Catholics, right? Who were against the Anglican Church.
Fact.
To remove those people who were most likely to rebel away from the mainland, put them out far away from them, as well as solve a population problem. And if you think that's something new, they did it in America. The Irish were always, the Irish and the blacks who did own land, always was a buffer zone between the natives and the royalists who had the land and the governorship, right?
Right. I think they did it with Georgia, right? Against the Spanish, literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to this part right here. This little highlighted part. Now, this is you should always read the footnotes. So I'm just going to tell you how I read. I read through the book, not reading the footnotes, to get a general idea of the conversation and what the author is trying to explain, or at least expose. Then from there, I read the book again, this time including footnotes and sources. So I go look up some of the sources they have, how accurate is it, and then look at the footnotes and see what they're saying in the footnotes, which tend to give more information. So here it is. Having thus succeeded in deporting the men, this is Cromwell, next turned his attention to women. Hearing that the planters in New England and the West Indies were weary of maroons and would pay any price for white women, Puritan Cromwell at once volunteered to supply their needs. Gangs of soldiers invaded Connaught, pouncing on all the women and girls they could find, drove them in gangs to court. It was a work of 1603 over again. So now you see the Puritans who are in where? New England, we talked about them, wanted white women also. And so Cromwell, another Puritan who's still in England, was going to supply them through his war in Ireland. Again, they're not black women. They're not requesting black women. They're requesting white women. They already had black women. That's the issue. And so you take this thing. This is what I mean by misrepresenting the history. You misrepresenting it, and it becomes harmful to understanding black history. It becomes harmful. I want to do one more, and then I'm done. Because it's another claim that he likes to make. It's another claim that he likes to make that is absolutely false. And we're going to get to that. And that is that the people they were taking was royalty. Oh, here go the pictures. Right? Black people with the last names that seem to be of Ireland or Scottish origin. But that would happen when you have close vicinity of people. Just like in America, when the Africans were free, they took on the names of either the slave masters or other individuals of European descent and took them as their own last name. So you have a lot of Washingtons, not because George Washington is their father, grandfather, or great-grandfather, but because they considered him to be an honorable person, so they took his last name. Jefferson the same way. And you can find this happening all the time. So that's all this book is really saying, is that they took on a lot of these Irish people who worked with them to some degree on the plantations. But let's go to this other little thing he keeps messing up.
I wanted to add though, so you did have indentured servants. And that was one of the reasons why they did go to African slaves. Indentured servants were difficult to work with, probably very belligerent, and they were costing too much. So there's so many different nuances
It is.
that the ABOS don't even speak about. One more. So, you have Irish Catholics. The only other people that were closely related to them as far as religion were the Spanish. So they had somewhat of a relationship, being that they're Catholic, and they would sometimes help each other out in certain situations. So, I mean, and if you understand Spain, I'm sure there were some relationships taken away. And if you understand Spain's history, they have some North African ancestry, and also some Arab ancestry, which the Spanish language is big on. Many Arabic loanwords in the Spanish language. So when you're thinking about some of these dark features, there are many ways that these Irish could have obtained them. Has nothing to do with them being black. Nothing to do with that. It was just different from their red hair, green eyes, or their blonde and blue eyes. That highly acceptable Nordic look. Like, y'all really got to start reading. If y'all don't read a book, start with Wiki. At least start with Wiki and get some type of foundation so you don't sound super stupid. Because at this point, you're sounding super stupid. It's just wild. Like, you're really insulting people's intelligence, not your audience, because I've already had a chat with them. But for the rest of us that you think, like, yo, can't catch me now, nigga. I'm slip. You've been caught like numerous times. And yeah, finna dead all your sources. You can use them, but we got something in archives to give context to those sources that you're using. They're fallacious. Go ahead.
So I
Hey
want to read.
Juju,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think you opened up with saying indentured servants was hard to work with. I threw a quote in the chat in here. It'd be too long to throw in the YouTube, but keep that in mind, sis, if we touch that subject again.
All right. Do you want me to read it now? I'll read it real quick.
If you want to, that's if Brother Marcus don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
So this is from Benjamin Franklin, 1751. Barbados colonies in Charleston was way before that, y'all. Okay, so again, we can show a timeline of these things happening and also give you the full robust history. And then I'm gonna add another point after I read this quote about Cromwell and Tudors, because this is things that Top Cat says, and I don't think he's even thinking or fact checking the stuff he's saying. He's just telling y'all anything and y'all eating it up. But this quote goes, "Why then will Americans purchase slaves? Because slaves may be kept as long as a man pleases or has occasion for their labor, while hired men are continually leaving their masters, often in the midst of his business, and setting up for themselves. Observations concerning the increase of mankind and the peopling of countries." Benjamin Franklin, 1751. So that passage comes from the observations concerning the increase of mankind by Benjamin Franklin. I'm sure he was pleading to some, you know, some of his government officials or whatnot in this. But yeah, because there was a problem with the indentured servant. So again, that goes to the lies they tell about the white people being slaves here. No, white people were protected by the law and they had a vast amount of freedom. They weren't chained, they weren't whipped, they weren't killed, none of that. So y'all got to stop it. So Top Cats, I need you to stop telling people that you are Tudor and you're related to Cromwell, because Cromwell is not a direct descendant of the Tudors. So you got to be one or the other. And I hear you always, you know, preaching this techno babble about who you are. You can't be everything. You can't be indigenous to this land, then be a Tudor, and then have Cromwell as one of your grandfathers. You've said that. I've heard you say that, and I will clip you up and I will show the people. You know, I'm gonna show how you're one of the biggest grifters of the year. I'm gonna show that. I'm gonna show that you're taking these people's hard-earned money with some techno babble so you can travel to Mexico and do whatever you want to do. Yeah, I hope you're not doing the nasty with them native women. I hope you're not, bro. It's probably what you do when you go there too much. But I'll leave that for our next live though. But yeah, that is not gonna work. Cromwell and Tudor don't even go together. You can't be related to everything. Yeah. That don't make no sense. That's another red flag. I hope people are picking that up. Yeah. If y'all not getting that, then I don't know what to say to you. Go ahead.
Not only that, but they were enemies, and so that's problematic. Especially if you didn't know that they were enemies. The Tudors is a royal lineage, and Cromwell didn't want royalty at all. He assassinated. Well, I won't say assassinated. He executed Charles I and took over the country. I mean, as Parliament, right? And when you listen to those ideas, you can see why some of the things they say just don't make sense. It just don't make sense based on just the principles of history. It just doesn't make sense. Let me read this last part so we can put a nail in the coffin, so we can make sure that we understand that even when you assume that, you're wrong. So here it is. Cromwell's account in matter of statesmanship. Idlers and vagabonds too, in all parts of England and Scotland, went in daily dread of being seized by local authorities under Cromwell's orders and shipped to Jamaica, where, for the most part, as white slaves. Now, this is problematic. I'd rather say indentured servitude, and I could pull up the laws that they passed to make sure it was indentured servitude. Matter of fact, it's part of it's in the next page, but we can get through that. They had to perform work that only Negroes in that climate can accomplish with impunity. Criminals from the Goals jails, as well as political offenders of all kinds, were shipped out to join the motley throng, among whom death rate was, of course, prodigious. So what is he saying here? They saying they didn't go and get the cream of the crop. That's not who they sent. That's not who they sent for the most part. Most of them were unemployed vagabonds, beggars. And in that time, that was an issue, very problematic due to other circumstances that we can't get in. It's not relevant to this conversation. They took the people who had committed crimes, and then political offenders. That's those who were argue against them in some capacity, or the royalists. They're not royalty, but they're supportive of the crown, such as William Penn. They would be allocated out. Some of them fled prior to. If you want to know why I said that, this is where it is. Y'all want to know this section right here. All servants shall have according to contract indenture, but where is no contract indenture servitude under 18 years of age, arrival at island shall serve 7 years. Above 18 years of age shall serve 4 years, and all convicted felons for the time of their banishment. So it wasn't a permanent thing, right? They get into marriages and things like that. So it wasn't a permanent thing. It was a temporary thing that they're talking about here. And so it's worth understanding that that point right there. So I'm going to pull up one more thing, and then I'm going to get on out of here. I appreciate all y'all who came through and enjoyed that right here, this conversation. Hopefully y'all got the idea of what's going on. Let me put this in here so everybody understand. Quick little wiki article talking about what's going on. This is the Adventurers Act 1640, was an act of Parliament of England which specified its aim as speedy and effective reducing the rebels in His Majesty's Kingdom of Ireland. The Irish Rebellion in 1614 broke out 5 months earlier. The act was designed to pay the army needed to subdue the rebellion by using borrowed money. Repayment would come from confiscating the rebels' lands and selling them. So the act invited members of the public to invest 200, for which they would receive 1,000 acres, 40 acres, or 40 kilometers squared of land that will be confiscated from rebels in Ireland, totaling about 2.5 million acres of Irish land was set aside by English government for this purpose. So this is what they did. So basically what they did is they took Ireland's land, shipped them out. They enjoyed, they had other means and other ways to find solutions to problems, right? And that is that they have these people who are spaced out across the kingdom nations. A lot of that is out of there. So like you talking about Barbados, Jamaica, and America. And they want to bring a lot of female and white population to these areas. Some of it, though, we find some of it being argued in W.E.B. Du Bois' book, The History of the Abolishment of the Slave Trade, where he talks about some of the conversation that was taking place, especially in the northern parts of America, Great Britain, where most of the Puritans were. They didn't want it the country to revert to being majority of African ancestry. And at the rate that slaves were coming in, it was heading that way. And so they started taxing them, and then they wanted to have lots of land go to white servants that are coming over. And so they passed bills and laws that would take some of that tax money from the encroachment from the slaves that were coming in, and use that to help establish these other whites who are coming in through that. And you can look at that through W.E. Du Bois' doctored dissertation, in which he explains some of that argument. So I just wanted y'all to see that Top Cat never read the source. He went to a pseudo site to get the information, and he never verified what the book actually said. And if you got to, oh, I see we got some Top Cat supporters in here.
Yeah, I need them to hit the link and stop being chatty patty. You feel me? They always want to debate. What we need to debate for? Like, if you want to come on the panel, we can have a conversation. Yeah, we don't need no debate to vet a source, to kill him at a source. Yeah, y'all be stuck on them debates. That's just not how scholarship works. Doesn't work with debating. You feel me? Give it pro. Okay, bottom kitten. Roger that. 10-4, Rob Bourne. But yeah, hit the link.
Share my screen one more time.
Hit the link. Okay, I want to do that.
So let's make sure that all his followers understand what's going on. He played y'all. He scammed you because y'all was sitting there listening to the book, and he thought the book said something like this. and it didn't. Oh, my video wouldn't play. Let me go get the video right quick. Let me go get the video right quick. I'm gonna go get this video so you can hear it for yourself. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. Okay, share this for me, Juju. Okay, it's up. Never mind. I see it.
It's like, yo, you got their last name, nigga. You don't know who the hell you.
So that's what your man said. It ain't my fault that he lied. If you got a problem with him, go tell him. Say, hey, listen, hey, we found out you lied to us. You scammed us. We were sending you them cash apps, paying for you to have this fake university. And all of a sudden, here come the pseudo killers, and you found out he played you. Now, if you want to get some real history and some real science and some real education, I think you better find another channel, another person to listen to, because he's scamming. He's scamming. Get mad at that. You don't like the source that I showed, that he showed? Go tell him. Leave me out of it. Go correct the man who took your money. Knock it off. Okay, I'm good, Juju.
That's it. Knock it off, right? Read the sources, people. Read the sources.
I don't know what they mad at me for.
Yeah,
I ain't the one who told you to
mad.
go look at that source. I ain't the one who told you the Irish were black people with phenotypical ideas as sub-Saharan African. I didn't say that at all. That's what that man tried to convince you. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
But he's saying they're not African. So how you gonna be African and not African at the same time? How you gonna be related to people that's not related to each other at the same time? How you gonna be indigenous American and related to people in England at the same damn time? Tell me how that works. Tell me how that
Can I
works.
ask you a question though from that, Juju?
Yeah,
Can
go
they
ahead.
show us? Can they show us the ships that these Irish and Tudors came over here on?
Yeah, the Mayflower.
Where's the ships at? Yeah, where's the
Thank
ships at?
you. Thank you. Where they ships at? You feel me?
Carry on.
Look, they always show you the Ellis Island ship. I'll be like, you little ooh-wee. So y'all realize the camera was invented what, in 1832? So yeah, they'll have pictures of the ships for like the immigrants coming into New York, bro. They're not gonna have that for slave ships. Hardly ever. I mean, where the pirate ships at? Where the Spanish Armada ships at? Like, where them ships at? Stop asking stupid questions. Those are stupid questions. They're not thought out properly at all. You make no logical or critical sense. Yeah, don't stop doing that. You're embarrassing. It's embarrassing. A secondhand embarrassment. Stop doing that. You look silly. Yeah. Silly. Straight scamming. But you know, I put the link out there 7 times. I feel like if you want to hit the link, hit the link. You know what I'm saying? I see some people in this. I see some superstars in the chat. You feel me? Y'all go ahead, hit the link and give your 2 cents. So I could tell you what you can't use no more. Let me put it up. I'm gonna tell you what you cannot ever use anymore. Let me help y'all. See, we're here to help you. You feel me? For all you little weak new ABOS, you baby ABOS. This is what you can't use no more. You see this? The WHENCH, the Black Irish of Jamaica. God, I can't read. This is by Jason J. Williams. Could remember that. He's a PhD, y'all. A PhD. He got his PhD to write this book. Okay. Y'all can't use this no more. This is off the market for the ABOS. This don't belong to you no more. This belong to us now. This is ours. And we're gonna beat y'all down with it every time. Let me show you another book you ain't gonna be able to use because it's pseudo as hell. And I'm gonna tear you up every time you try. Keep trying. Y'all gonna get tore up every time you try. But we coming for you. I promise you, we coming for you, bro. Yeah, boy. Y'all be playing stupid games. You know what they say. Dang. It ain't gonna be a good picture. Stop playing them stupid games. I'm telling you. Let me see. I'm trying to get a nice, good, big picture of it. See if this is, I guess I'm gonna have to do it here. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it here. So let me see. Ah, that's better. It's another one that y'all need to put down. We finna tear this one up. This one, we coming for this soon. Don't dare try to use this book. This is the most pseudo book ever. Let me blow it up for you. You see that? What does that say? The Black Americans Handbook of Survival Through the 21st Century, The Forgotten Truth Behind the Racism in America, The Secret Heritage of American. This is the ABO book. That author, Radine Ain't America, come on, y'all already know what's going on. Got the whole UNESCO papers on this chick. You finna tear this out the frame. So don't you dare try to use this. You've been had for a long time. You've been had for a long time. Yeah. Y'all got to cut it out. Stop the madness. Nobody don't want to hit that link? All right. Fossil, you got anything else to say?
Not at the moment, sis. My bad. I was tending to the kids.
That's okay. Chilimwe, you got some last remarks? Go ahead.
Now, Vasa, we're gonna work on that stuff you sent me. I want to do about the water drum. So I want to get some time in the Discord. We're gonna run through some of that, and we're gonna work on that because I want to not only just tear down the pseudoisms, but I want to show the Africanisms that we have, right, and show a correlation between what the history says now and why it's accurate or more accurate than what they are proposing, which is really a rewriting of history, and a rewriting not just of history, but of genetics, anthropology, ethology, cultural anthropology, recorded history, archaeology, which would all have to be rewritten because these individuals on YouTube somehow or another found information that nobody else has found. This guy, Joseph, I would never actually use this guy's book. Some of the other books he wrote, such as the Hebrewisms in West Africa, right? The Hebrew Israelites always use his work. I think there are better sources to explain this period of time. But since Bottom Kitten, Scam Cat decided to use it, I decided to go ahead and burn him up with it. And as we've been known to say, a pseudo always dies.
Is that his source? Every time. I haven't seen a situation where they haven't. I've never seen a situation where they were saved by this.
And so the next thing, I want to talk about another thing that happened in which some insignificant abos attempted to respond from a previous video.
Oh, you talking about where they don't care about sources? Are you finna go there?
Well, that's one, but I want to go to the chat. I want to go to the chat of the last video in which some of the people were offended that I didn't call Ron Hayes by his name.
Oh, bump him.
I don't.
Who cares? Yeah,
I don't give a rat's behind about him personally myself because he's scamming. And I take that not only serious, but personal. I think we've been through entirely too much to get to this point, to have people who look like us come in with this flim flam and try to take advantage of us, take advantage of our need to know who we are and where we come from.
Facts.
Take that and use that as a weapon against me. No, I'm not being nice to him. I'm not being nice to Top Cat. I'm not being nice to none of them at all. I don't give a rat's behind about it. I'm concerned about the people who are listening to him, who believe what they're saying and are being taken advantage of by these grifters and scammers. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about future generations that will come in believing something so foolish and that is historically false. That sets them up for failure in a world that is moving by far really fast.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Chirimbe,
yes, sir.
and Mr. Juju, if y'all don't mind, I heard you mention the water drum. If you don't mind, can we go ahead and just go through that wiki article real quick on the con drum? And there's a particular reason why, once we read through it, that I want to highlight why that one sets a precedent before we even get to the water drum.
Okay. Can you pull it up for us, Juju?
I'm trying. Give me a minute. You don't ever have to ask.
Okay, thank you. Well, see, that's V note. When you talk about dark brown Indians, that this is why you got to understand the history of science, right? You got to know what the science say. What does dark skin represent? Why is it? How you can have a converging evolution happening at the same time because of environmental pressures. And so the argument isn't whether Native Americans ranged in skin color. That's not the point. The point is they not chill. The point is
Brother
that
me
yes,
and
sir.
I don't mean to cut you off, but me and Sean just beat up V not even 48 hours ago
We
in the
know y'all
exact
beat him up
same
every
region
time.
in the exact same region that he was speaking towards about dark skinned native peoples. And in
Oh,
that,
so
and it's Juju, you know this is one of my dudes to highlight. I was using King Miguel down in Venezuela and how he used psychological war tactics against the Spanish and had the natives painting themselves black to make it seem that there was a larger black army of resistance there
All
than
the
it
time
actually
'cause it was an
was.
intimidating tactic. All the time. You talk about that
So,
all the time. But
and I bring
what's
that up constantly to say if they was black like us, they wouldn't have to dye themselves
bro?
like us.
See, no, why don't you just go ahead and hit the link?
exactly,
Because you straight lying at the point.
exactly.
Say
So
that
what
last
was
point. Say that
what was
last
y'all
point
on Sean's
again, bro.
channel?
Not a
That was
coincidence, probably. Or Mossy. Usually it's on not a
Uh,
coincidence channel or Mossy channel.
I think it was ironically on Mossy's this time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Normally we on Not a Seas, but
Mm-hmm.
Sean was up there. He was flying solo, so I just jumped in to help my brother out. And, you know, we played cat and mouse with Vino, but he ran off multiple times. I'm
He
gonna get a
always
source. I'm gonna get a
ran.
source, and he never came back.
He said y'all ran. I know that's a lie. Sean don't run for nobody. And Vyasa got a source for everything. So Vasa, excuse me. So
Only thing
I
I
know
run
you
is
lying, bro.
electricity through the house.
You
My
gotta
TP
stop
got
lying.
electricity.
Yeah, no, you the one that need help. We're not gonna deal with you. You're like you are what lightweight. You're small. It's petty to deal with you. All right. We're gonna deal with the
And
people you're
stop
listening to.
making Black Oklahoma look bad, Vino.
Yeah, he trying to claim
I'm not gonna
stimulus.
ease up on that one. You
Yeah.
already came at my brother Bella, and I take that personal. But I'm gonna let him
Hello,
handle you on
Griot.
his own. Yeah, but to
You want to
double
get
back and
hurt.
make Black Oklahoma history look bad, I can only stay silent for so long.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, if we can read this one, y'all, there's a particular reason why, and I'll give it away. If y'all want to go through the article, we can.
John Horse
But
is mixed.
this drum, when they found it in the inceptions of speaking on it and trying to figure out what it was, where it came from, they actually thought it was Native American. But then they see it in
Correct.
West Indies. And in that, you start to see a correlation of what? It's Africanisms. So here it is, we got a object, and if not mistaken, it's considered the oldest African artifact found in the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that you can tell the babies, and it's easy to remember. The oldest African item we have here is the African drum.
A
I mean,
conjure.
a con drum. Yeah,
Correct.
my bad, y'all.
Because you got the
And then we
djembe
can just,
too.
and then we can just build from that. We can beat up the elbows with it. You get where I'm going? You can show a
Mm-hmm.
Pan-Africanism with it because you got it being used in multiple spots and multiple
Facts.
groups. You get where I'm going? It's all encompassing to current conversations.
Yeah, that cultural continuity. You can't get past it. Cannot get past it. But ABOS don't have any. Y'all have nothing. Nothing. If you like chicken, hit the like button. I know that's right, Sosa. King Sosa in the building, Still Kill Official. So I mean, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. We gonna stay on your necks. I would, give one more tidbit. I think when you dealt with the Brad Hayes over on Unscrambled Minds, there's a video that came up not soon after, very soon after that, and it was DOESEN'T saying how they don't care about sources. That's a tremendous red flag. That's a tremendous red flag.
Oh yeah, I got her clip talking about we don't care about sources.
Yeah.
And I got Ron Hayes saying he don't care about sources.
Yeah, that's when you got people making it up.
Yeah,
You need to stay far, far away of those people. That's giving cultish vibes. Go ahead, Chumba.
It's their imagination running wild.
Yes.
So that's
and it's not even a good one.
Yeah.
It's not even it's not even like creative or original. That's the problem.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Boy. It's a shame. When you hear people say things like, you don't even know what people you come from, they're really mocking the African American experience.
Yeah.
Right? They're mocking because the fact that we don't know was a deliberate act to destroy cultural continuity.
Facts.
And while we still have Africanisms in our lives,
everywhere,
we still have practices that can be derived partially from Africa. Mm-hmm. We are looking for that connection. We've been looking for quite a long time. And people have come in and have taken advantage of that. And I find that to be disgusting. It's predatory, truth be told. It's like a predator who offers candy to children, right? He's using a tendency within nature, right? The natural inclination for wanting sugars and fats and using it to take advantage of the children. We're adults, but we still have a need to know who and where we come from. Mm-hmm. It's a human thing. And in that, you can see that because all faiths and religion have a creation story on the origins of where we from.
Correct.
How we got here. What makes us uniquely us. And so it's a human endeavor that they're taking advantage of. And it's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting. So I want to read a section of that because I think, Vasa, you brought out a good point about it.
Conundrum?
Yeah. I want to read the provenance of it. The drum was made in Ghana region of West Africa between 1700 and 1745, and it's presumed to have traveled to America on board a slave ship. As enslaved people and either been prisoners of war or kidnapped from their homes, they wouldn't have been able to carry any personal possessions. So it is presumed that the drum was either brought by a member of the crew or possibly the son of an African chief who has sold enslaved people for transportation. To exercise their human property, the slave traders would dance to slaves. It is supposed that this was why the drum was transported. The word Akan refers to culture in what today's Ghana includes the Fanti, Ashanti, and the Akun people. Description: the drum is made from two species of wood that are native to sub-Saharan Africa, Bafia and Cordero africana. The latter, fine grained hardwood, is known for its ability to be carved and its resonance, which makes it suitable for musical instruments. The drum skin came from deer hide and was stretched over the wooden structure using vegetable fiber. I think that's very interesting that when we think about how these things, how our cultural implements can be passed along. And then in that, we then turn and make it out of material here in America and make similar products with material out of America. There's a case where they looked at some of the pottery shards and some of the slave plantations, and they would find symbols carved out of them that are similar to the symbols that are carved in the potteries in central Congo. And so you find these things back and forth, and you find that a lot of things that we think are, well, let me not say it that way. You find that our people attempted to carry on the best they could our African traditions, no matter how difficult it was. Kick door low. Welcome.
PK
What up, man?
official.
What's happening, man? Yeah, I'm just sitting back listening to you, man. Man, I love the fact that, you know, you like me, man. I don't like when niggas, you know, take advantage of the ignorance of black folk. You know what I mean? Exploiting our ignorance and shit like that. So, man, keep doing that, man. Keep beating their heads in. You know what I mean? This ain't really my area. You know, I don't really like to dive into it, which I'm talking about. But you know, like I said, man, I'm for anything that's kicking in the heads of the people that's taking advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's get it, yo.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I did
show
put
some
something.
support.
I know that's right.
I appreciate it, bro. I did put something in the Sunday show brain thing that I want you to look at.
True indeed. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, we about to do a brain show on this. Show the psychology.
Hey, I'm ready to kick the brain joints back in the gear, yo. We need to,
yeah, boy. Gotta get
Hey,
the
brother
going.
Marcus, to those sentiments being expressed right now, the psychology of it, check your Discord when you get time tonight and just sit on that for a while.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, boy. So
yeah, keep your foot on their neck though, man. Like I said, man, you know, they take advantage, and a lot of people out there don't have the information to be able to fight back or even know that they being tricked. So
right.
all of this is needed in every subject. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like they really are. I mean, this scamming dude is in Mexico now, taking people from his fake university. Like it's ridiculous. And I'm saying that not that they can't spend their money on what they want to do. It's a shame that someone took advantage of them, right? And decided to put a logo up and call it Big Chief University.
That's Bethune-Cookman University. See, he done messed up.
Wow.
Yeah, it can't be two BCUs. It ain't but one. That's
right.
Bethune-Cookman, because you ain't even real. Yeah, home of the Wildcats. Yeah.
And so that's problematic for me. I have an issue. We all know how I am about that.
I already know.
Look, hey, Marcus, was crazy. We all done been there. Like we all put our money towards something that we actually believed in, and then only to find out, like, oh snap, like that was a bad investment, or that was a bad, you know what I mean?
Nope.
You know, you could use that money for some, you know what I mean? So
now I might have bought some dope, but I ain't get.
I wish I'd have ran into the pseudo killers 10 years ago.
I understand that though. Yeah. Nah. I put my money toward Baba Men's School, and you can see now. You feel me? That came along and is doing good. You know, we got Conscious Ingenuity, a STEM program. That's a really good STEM program supported by a professor of Morgan State itself. Like it was so good. That STEM program did so well, you know, the first year or two, don't know how quite it was long, at least a year or more, that it got some grant or financial support, and none of the students who went in it had to pay. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how you really do it. You know, you just can't work off of donations forever because you're always going to be in a deficit. That's the facts, right? You're going to need some school to back you up, some corporate donations, and that doesn't mean you have to compromise. You just have to prove what you're doing is actually beneficial and advantageous. That shouldn't be hard to do. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Big bro, Anthony Bowman, man, spaceman,
Yeah, Anthony.
African, pseudo killer official.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
they lying on Big Mama.
They is lying on Big Mama. Big Mama itself is African American.
She, you know, they using that because ain't nobody gonna call somebody grandmama a liar.
Nope.
They're using her cultural respect for grandmothers and mothers as a means to take advantage, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and say his grandmama lying.
Nah, I'm gonna say it. Your grandmama is lying.
You know, I'll probably say that she
drinking moonshine and spitting tobacco with her legs wide open, looking crazy, telling you a whole bunch of stories. I'm gonna say
I think she was mistaken, and I don't understand it. That like we don't know.
Grandma had belief. Grandma had belief too, though.
Yeah, no, but we, you know, we carry a shame with us that we want to avoid, and so we don't say that your grandfather got a kid 3 blocks down the street.
Yeah,
they gonna say that's your cousin. They not gonna say that. They gonna say that's your cousin. They not gonna tell you that their child had a baby at a young age. The grandma gonna raise a child and say that's my son or daughter. We act like that stuff ain't like we don't know that that's what they were doing at that time.
That's literally what happened.
Right? They can say anything.
It was about keeping the. It was about keeping the peace, yo.
It's about keeping the peace. Right.
I'm the keeper. I'm the keeper of all the family like secrets. Like I literally am.
Hey, Drew,
I think ask me questions.
Hey, Drew, you know what's crazy? Like when our generation, I think there's something unique about our generation because when we came along, we started like punching holes through them stories and exposing things.
Hell yeah!
I think that's when it really first started to like, you know, because like you think about it, like great grandmama to grandmama times, it was like, you know, you lie to keep the family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know, peaceful and all that. When we came along, we was like, nah, we ain't trying to hear that. Like, no, uncle did this,
Uncle Jack,
granddaddy did that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You touch me, no granddad.
Because eventually it had to change. Like somebody had to break the generational curse. So if you want to call it that, you know what I'm saying? So
that's what it is.
We the change that had to come along in order for all of this stuff to start goddamn making sense. For real,
because a lot
of
y'all
y'all gonna put all this on Papa's back though? Like,
wait a minute,
Big Mama wasn't down at the juke joint.
What I'm saying, a lot of those secrets, you know, we can say some of them had to do with infidelity or whatnot, and it was on both sides. I know in my family, the infidelities be on both sides. You feel me? It was like literally, it's some wild story. I'll be like, yo,
Granny was definitely down at the juke joint. You right?
Yes, but the things that are most telling is the abuse that was sustained. There's a lot of that. You feel me? I ain't gonna say the names, but I definitely got 2 sisters that are actually mother and daughter, and the mother ain't gonna ever recognize the daughter. You know, like that could be very hurtful. I mean, they in their 50s and 60s, and she still can't bring herself to do that. So there has to be a certain type of trauma that people have been dealing with forever. Do you understand? And you know the daughter knows the truth. You feel me? Because her daddy told her that she wasn't none of his one day and whatever, being mad at her grandmother, which is her mother. I know, confusing, but you get what I'm saying? Like those things happen. And that stuff happened because of essays. You feel me? Or that the pervert uncle. You feel me? Like, you know, that's how, even in, you know, when I was working with the kids, and you know, I'm taking these assessments, like everybody in this it was a level 4 facility, residential facility, and literally all of y'all have been, you know, assaulted in some type of way by your family member. Everybody, you feel me? Yeah, Lord, no. I've been like, speak up.
Drew is crazy. Like, I mean, I know that's not the topic of this conversation, But to what you're saying, like, it's crazy that personally, like 85-90% of the women that I know have stated that they have been assaulted in some
fact.
type of way. And
That's
and
fact.
you wouldn't even think, as a man, we don't think about them type of things, because we don't live like that. We don't have those experiences on average. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I haven't, but
Now y'all get them when you're much younger. A lot of you
Yeah,
get
it
them
happened to
probably.
me when I
when
was
you've
4.
lost your virginity.
Mm-hmm.
That's another show, but we can definitely talk about that. But
Yeah.
I think men feel different about that, because that's like you're receiving your man card. Y'all don't even know that you've been SA'd. That's molestation. That's that's abuse. You understand what I'm saying? So, but we'll get into that. But shout out Pseudo Killer Official, Anthony. And I hope everything is okay with you and the family. I
What up?
pray.
Yo, peace, everybody.
Peace.
Peace to
Peace,
the
Big Ant.
panel, to the chat. Yeah, it's it's all right, Miss Juju.
All
It's
right. That's all
something
you
we
got to say.
used to.
That's all you
Yeah,
got to say. But
but
did you want to add
yeah,
anything?
yeah. I just wanted to comment on the comment that I made in the chat. I don't
Yeah.
know who saw it, but
About Big
yeah,
Mama, right?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
I
believe
saw it.
that. you know, because that's, to me, that it sounds like a calling card,
Mm-hmm.
or that's your validation. I mean, Big Mama ain't tell you about no creation stories, or how did they use the night sky
Mm-hmm.
to farm or do anything. She ain't passed none of that down.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand. You know, most cultures, that's what they do. That they'll pass down their heritage in, most of the time, in a made up story, like Marcus mentioned a little while ago. All cultures have a creation story, where they come from. Now they tell us where they don't come from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't know. Y'all can help me out, because I'm really not up on this subject, but I do know a little bit. The little bit that I hear on YouTube, the majority, 90, well, I say 75% of what my grandmother told me,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't believe it. I just Big Mama, y'all gonna have to stop lying on Big Mama. Big
Yeah.
Mama ain't told you that.
Yeah.
That's you trying to validate what you saying, because
Right.
you feel like ain't nobody gonna go in on Big Mama. But
Yeah,
all
they
our
got the
grandmothers was
wrong
pseudo.
one. I'm gonna go in on your Big Mama. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you now.
I mean, they had their reasons for what they did, and times were totally different back then.
Facts.
So they had to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Survival today ain't survival of, yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
Back then they was trying to, to actually survive. Today we just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, y'all gonna give Big Mama her respect. You ain't gonna stop lying on her like that. And that's my rant. I just want to say,
Yeah, yes, better stop
I'm
lying
sorry,
on
y'all, but
Granny. Stop
they got
lying on Granny, bruh.
Grandma, Big Mama
Shoot.
deserved too much respect, because she did what she had to do to keep the family together. But you have to know better. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you have access to much more than she had. You know, most of us don't have to worry about what we gonna eat tomorrow.
Fact.
I don't know everybody's situation, but back then they had to, not only what I'm gonna eat, but what my whole family gonna eat. And you got 7 or 8 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's totally different than what we're dealing with today. So
Fact.
she deserved her respect for keeping the family together. You know what I'm saying? Stop lying on Big Mama.
Stop
Please.
lying.
She deserved more. She deserved better.
She do. She deserve her culture, her real heritage, because that's a testament. That is a testament to her ingenuity and her ability to survive through the worst of human conditions. Y'all don't even give her the respect she deserves by denying that. But this is the comment I'm about, because y'all already know Bobby Ben can always be on this 8 to 80 blind, crippled, or crazy. Anybody can get it. A Mexican, a African, all y'all can get it. Yeah, but shoot, we at the 2 hour mark. So any final comments before I play this banger and we out of here until we be back for the next show or the next time we want to scalp some ABOS. Yeah, because y'all dead on arrival with this one. Pitiful.
Yeah, there's another book that they misrepresent, that they out of control with again. It's a shame. I mean, I just keep getting them. You know,
Which one?
It's not even. It's the black complexions of America in the 18th century. They use this book. I got a copy of it. I'll put it in the Discord.
No, I want to pull it up for the people. What is it called? The Black Complexions.
Yeah, let me get the full one. The full name of it.
Shuns, yeah, I want to pull it up so I can show the cover.
Okay, hold on.
Because this gonna be the third book.
No, I don't know if I'm gonna do that next. I don't want to say that one.
No, I'm just saying this is 3 books down that they done messed up.
Yeah.
They can't use no more. Like, we gotta archive the things we done already vetted. You can't use that. That doesn't support your statement. You feel me? That second book I showed y'all was just pseudo. Pseudo is all pseudo. It's basically where a lot of the ABOs get some of their ABO ideologies, their ideas, because they're not creative. Their pictures, you feel me? The pictures don't even match what they're saying. We've already vetted that picture of that lady looking like the Statue of Liberty with the dark skin. That picture's been vetted. That picture's from the 1700s, the late 1700s. If I need to show it again, I can. So, you know, how can you use that to talk about the early indigenous people before Columbus? You see how the time ain't matching? The math ain't mathing, right? Come on, people. Stop. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing us. I mean, I got secondhand embarrassment. That's slow. That's el stupido. For real. Stop it. Just stop. Stop it already. I don't know what else to say. That was an awesome presentation. And you did an excellent job, Chlimboy, as always. I feel like you know that, but I'm still going to give you your flowers. If anybody,
Yeah, I agree with you, Miss Juju. Yeah, great job, bro. As always, great
as
job.
always, you just be killing them. If anybody want to hop on the panel real quick and give your 2 cents about anything that was said here today, anything you want to add, please feel free. I'm not gonna make you cam up. You know, you could just sit and look at my beautiful face. No problem. I'm just kidding.
I appreciate the kind words. You know, especially coming from y'all. You know, it's a great honor. I appreciate it. The acknowledgement.
I mean, we have to.
I thought I had the book in my Google Drive. I mean, in my iCloud. I must not have downloaded it all the way.
No problem.
Must be on my phone.
We'll get to it. Don't worry. We got y'all number. I'm telling you. We got.
But it's just the
number and address.
Yeah, it's just the claims that are being said. They say so many, and then you go back and you look at it and you analyze what they're saying.
Yeah.
You realize what they're saying just doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
In that same video, when he gets galloped for 9 minutes instead of showing the source, he said that the French wasn't in California. I said, man, that's strange to me.
Oh boy, that's wild.
So I go and I say, okay, let's see if that what he's saying is true. Because that wouldn't fit what we understand and what was going on at that time.
Facts.
Not only were they in California, it was the second most spoken language in Los Angeles County from 1840 to 1903. It wasn't a little bit; there was a lot of them. Not only, yeah, yeah. What are you talking? Then it gets even worse.
Oh God!
They were some of the first grape farmers. California is known for their wine and grape country.
Facts.
It was started partially by the French.
Correct.
So
French
now I'm
are known for their
confused.
cognacs too.
Right.
Yeah,
So
the cognac actually comes from wine or grapes. So
Yeah.
it's almost the same process. Another day, another dollar, but I'm just saying.
So I'm trying to wonder, why would he say that? He needs to say that that he needed to put that little falsehood in there to try to verify that the Irish royalty was isolated from other European groups, right? And that they only went to certain locations, right? And then he throws in there that the Irish and the Protestants were working together. If that ain't the most absurd thing, the Catholics and the Protestants was in the middle of a war.
Facts.
At that time, like, why would they work together? No, that's not what happened. It's the opposite. The Puritans, who were Protestants, who believed in manifest destiny, that is, the spreading of their views of Christianity globally, would not have at any time helped Catholics. At any time would they help Catholics. We got to knock it off. So this is the statements he made in this Gallagher was foolish. But then using the source, I just, we can only say this, that he died at his source. Off with his head. He's done.
Yeah. He's done. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're done for tonight. So we'll catch you next time around. When we got some more pseudo killing to do. So until that time.
Shout out your show, Juju. The other shows.
Oh God. Help me. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. we got our Galaxy and Beyond. We're gonna be kicking off the Space Age Astronomy Club pretty soon. That's an extension of our Galaxy Beyond, or just pseudo killers, because we'll be dealing with the equipment. So a series we have now on our Galaxy Beyond is dealing with a lot of the equipment that NASA, the European Space Agency, the European Southern Observatory, other authorities on astrophysics and space exploration, the instruments that they use to produce the information that we have about the galaxy and the universe we live in. So I think that's good that we explain those tools. And so Anthony is going to be doing the Space Age African Astronomy Club to show you how to use a telescope, how to produce some of the awesome pictures he's produced on his own with his own telescope, and walk you through some things. Did you want to have a few? Do you have a few comments on that, Anthony?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Two things. You did a great job. Yeah, I mean, that's what we'll be doing, dealing with the tools, the methodology, the processes. That's what we'll be doing in the Astronomy Club show. Because over here, we know we can't depend on what Big Mama said. So we got to do the work.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that.
We got the evidence. We'll be getting back on depth of expertise sooner than later. Yeah, because that's more than needed at this time. And that book by Tom Nichols, Depth of Expertise, is a fire book. It's an easy read, and it's not that big. So if you don't have it, please go pick that up. I got it on Audible. You can pick it up on Amazon. It's everywhere. But yeah, get into that. It'll help you explain some things that are taking place in this pseudo world of ours, so to speak. Okay. And I think we're planning a few shows for the Brain Show. And we're definitely going to get back doing a men's health show. So we have lots of ideas in store and shows that we're steadily getting ready for and producing to bring to you. I think the most important for me is the men's health show. I really want to get that. And I know a lot of the men and Pseudo Killers in the Discord are excited about that show. So we want to give that to you, men. I won't be involved in the next show at all because it's for the men, and I want y'all to feel like I have a safe space. But this is basically extending, you know, mental health awareness. We don't just want to do it for the month or the day. We want to continue to do it, you know, healthy body, healthy mind, you know. That's the start to having a healthy lifestyle, to be able to think clearly, critically, and logically. So that's what we want to do. We appreciate everybody coming to support us. I appreciate you joining the panel with us. Vasa, thank you very much always for all the sources that you have, your wisdom, your knowledge. Most definitely appreciate it. And of course, Anthony, one of my favorite people in the world. So I think you already know, you know, what I think and how I feel about you, especially with our galaxy and beyond. It's opened a wide world for me and Chilimwe. You always gonna be captain. I'll go to war with you any day, fam. And that's the show. So for real, right? We out of here. We'll see y'all next time. And just like and subscribe to Pseudo Killers, Community of Skeptics, so you don't miss any of our programming. But Top Cats, yeah, boy. You died today and you're going to continue to die slow death. So we're going to keep coming for you. But you always welcome to the platform if you want to have a conversation. I doubt you'll show up, but we can do that, you know. Or we'll come over there. But it's whatever. Holla at your girl. All right, y'all. Bye.